Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and I'm out here today to play in the dirt because that's pretty much my favorite thing to do. Now in this case, I've been talking for 3 months about building a road around the Quonset hut. We're this close. I had a lot of work to be done, prep work all around the building and clearing over here. Now that pretty much everything is clear except a dirt pile right here, some composted manure over by that big tree, and I might possibly take the tree out. I've still got to decide on that. But today we're going to dig another burrow pit, and that will give us more clay that we can use to finish building up the road, and hopefully by next week we've ordered 200-300 tons of rock and get this thing set up and actually looking good. So I'm gonna jump in the skid steer and get started. Before I get too far into it, I went ahead and moved all this compost. When I first got the dump trailer, a local farmer said he had a bunch of horse manure that had been setting for years and he'd like to have it gone. So I thought it might be handy for certain situations like tilling into a garden. And now it's been setting here for a year and a half. So this doesn't have any odor to it at all. It's basically just topsoil at this point. But any material like this you needs to be turned periodically. Otherwise it'll grass over like you see. Now you can see me on the right side of the screen starting to dig out the burrow pit, and I thought this overhead view does a nice job of showing what I'm trying to accomplish here. I've got this triangle made of the 3 buildings, and I want a road that wraps all the way around all 3 buildings but also lets you drive in between them. So basically a figure 8. And I want all of this to be done in crushed limestone. There was a lot of pushback towards my comment about taking out this cluster of trees that is just to the right of the Quonset hut, because those are big nice trees, and everyone was pointing out how much shade they give, especially if I'm cutting firewood in that area. But when I drive through here, it feels like it makes a little bit of a tight turn, especially if I'm pulling a trailer to get around the Quonset hut if I have to go in between the tree and the building. The reason I've left that tree to this point is there was a wild beehive that had burrowed pretty deep into it, but they took off this spring, so we no longer have any bees on the property. As I mentioned in my last burrow pit, one of the reasons I have a need to do this is I didn't do a good job of separating my soil types when I was excavating around the building. So at this point I'm making sure that I do a better job of separating. And that basically just means that I don't dig too deep at first. I'm trying to just pull topsoil, and once I have a nice 2-foot deep layer of topsoil, you can see the color change into clay. Then I start a new pile. So as I'm getting ready to finish this road, it's either going to go right where the tree's at or right next to that tree. And right now we're on a little bit of a slope like this. So the whole property's sloping. I'm thinking I'm going to bring some more clay over and have that slope flatten off, and then it'll have more of a steeper drop down if I do that. or I'll have to add a lot more clay to kind of feather that out. So it would be fine to just put rock on it at that angle. I don't know if I'm going to get more erosion that way or by flattening it out. I don't know. Got a decision to make. I also have to decide if I want to buy the geotextile fabric and put under the rock. That helps keep all that rock from sinking into the ground. So I'm close to really moving on this and rocking all of this area, but just a couple little decisions I still have to make. So the purpose here is about 50% because I want a place to get rid of that dirt pile that's up by the building. But just as important, actually probably more of an important reason that I want to do this is because I want good clay. And this is great clay. It's going to make a good material for building the road and the work I'm doing down around the pond. So it's a lot better to me to dig this off my own property than it is to just buy clay and then still have this other material I want to get rid of. Now, to keep this video to a manageable length, I'm skipping forward about an hour of real time. And it's probably going to make it seem like it took forever to dig this, but it really didn't. I just had a late start because I had a busy day. The stock lights on this machine are really good, and my intention was to just stay out here however late it took and get it done, even if that was 2 in the morning. Unfortunately, that plan took a little bit of a hiccup when I went up to refuel the skid loader and my diesel transfer tank is empty. And I decided it just wasn't worth it to try to go get fuel this late, and we'll carry it on tomorrow. As you can see with all this dust flying, we are just not getting any rain. We've had basically none for a month, even though it's been in the forecast lately. Today was supposed to rain, and all we got was sprinkles or, on and off, but nothing to really make a difference. So I'm kind of feeling for the real farmers out there. Now, the last time I did this, I put all of the fill material in lifts and tracked it in over and over again, and I kind of feel like that might have been a little bit of a waste of time because we're not putting a building here and it's got walls on each side. So I think tracking it in might be less critical. Basically what I'm saying is, if after I'm done here this sinks a little bit, it's not a big deal. The size of hole that I dug worked out just about perfectly. As you watch this fill material dwindle down to nothing, we are 90% filled in, and all it needs is a layer of topsoil put on top. So I've got all of this clay that you can see on the screen right now, but I will use part of the topsoil. Be sure to jump in the comments section and let me know what you think of the borrow pit idea or the way I'm implementing it. And if you have any advice on finishing out a road around these buildings. Also, feel free to let me know what you think about this video format I've been using with all the fast-forwarded footage and the voiceovers. I'm trying to keep these videos short because this could easily be an hour long if I showed everything. I probably have an hour left on this, and I was just informed that I have to take my daughter to her cheerleading. So I may come out here and finish this on video, or this may be the end, but I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.